Welcome to today's story. Are you ready to feel inspired? This is the amazing journey of a man who faced many challenges but never gave up. His name is Barack Obama. He went from being a boy with a tough childhood to becoming the 44th President of the United States, proving that with hard work, strong belief, and determination, anything is possible. This story will share his childhood, his struggles, his dreams, and the people who guided him. It is a story about fighting through obstacles and building a better future. As you listen, you will not only practice your English, but also learn important life lessons. Let's begin. Barack Hussein Obama was born on August 4, 1961 in Hawaii, a beautiful island in the Pacific Ocean. Even though he was born in America, his story started far away. His father, Barack Obama Sr., was from Kenya, a country in East Africa. His mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, came from Kansas in the United States. His parents met while his father was studying in Hawaii, but after Barack was born, they separated. His father went back to Kenya. From the start, Barack's life was not simple. His father was far away, and his mother worked very hard to raise him. Still, Barack had big hopes and dreams. Even as a child, he imagined a better future. When he was small, his father sent him letters. Barack did not understand every word, but he kept them safe. For him, these letters were proof of his father's love, even from a distance. Though his father was not present, Barack always felt his importance. Barack's strongest support came from his mother, Ann Dunham. She worked tirelessly and taught him many lessons. She encouraged him to be curious, ask questions, and believe in himself. Ann showed him that education and hard work could change his life. Her love and guidance gave Barack the strength to move forward. His grandparents also played a big role. His grandfather was strict and hardworking, while his grandmother was caring and supportive. They helped raise him and provided stability. They gave Barack confidence and encouraged him to dream big. Even without his father around, Barack never felt alone. He realized family is not only about blood, it is about the people who love you and believe in you. But Barack's story is also about race and identity. As the son of an African father and an American mother, he lived between two cultures. Often, he was the only black student in school. People asked him questions like, "Where are you from?" or "What is your background?" Barack struggled with these questions because he didn't feel fully part of either side. For years, Barack searched for where he belonged. But instead of letting this confuse him, he turned it into strength. He saw his mixed background as a gift. It gave him the ability to connect with people from different worlds. He realized he could bring people together. This idea shaped his life. Barack always had big dreams. He believed education was the key to success. He studied hard. Even when life was not easy, he faced discrimination, doubts, and many obstacles. But he never let these stop him. His resilience helped him rise. After finishing high school, Barack went to the mainland United States. He started at Occidental College in California. Moving away from Hawaii was difficult, but Barack was ready to grow and learn. At college, Barack met students from many backgrounds. He began to see the world differently, but he also felt pressure to live up to his dreams. To push himself further, he transferred to Columbia University in New York City, one of the top schools in the country. Living in New York was a challenge. The city was fast and busy, but Barack stayed focused. He studied political science, which shaped his future. He became more interested in issues like poverty and racial inequality. He saw people suffering and wanted to help. Barack began to realize that knowledge must be used to improve society. After college, Barack moved to Chicago to work as a community organizer. This job took him to poor neighborhoods. His role was to listen to people's problems and help them find solutions. The work was very hard. At first, people didn't trust him, but Barack believed in the power of community. He knew that when people worked together, they could create change. Some people said nothing would improve. Others ignored him. But Barack stayed strong. He worked long hours to help people fight for better schools, jobs, and housing. Slowly, he gained respect. His time in Chicago taught him that ordinary people can achieve great things when they unite. This period of Barack's life taught him valuable lessons: the importance of education, the strength of community, and the power of belief. He realized that to make a bigger impact, he needed to step into politics. Running for office was not easy. Barack was young, black, and had little experience. But he understood the struggles of ordinary people better than most. He wanted to give them a voice. In 1996, Barack ran for the Illinois State Senate. He faced opponents with more experience and money. But Barack's campaign was different. Instead of focusing on big events, he knocked on doors, spoke directly to families, and listened to their concerns. He wanted people to feel heard. Against the odds, Barack won. As a state senator, he worked to improve healthcare, education, and support for poor families. He also worked with both Democrats and Republicans, believing unity was the key to solving problems. But Barack wanted to make an even bigger difference. He decided to run for the U.S. Senate in 2004. Before that, he was invited to give a speech at the Democratic National Convention. This moment changed his life. At that time, Barack was not well known. But when he stepped on stage, he spoke with passion, hope, and unity. Millions of people felt his words. His message touched hearts across America. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that would eventually lead him to the White House. He spoke about America's future, where everyone, no matter who they were or where they came from, could have the same chance to succeed. He said, "There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America." These words touched millions of people. He talked about bringing the country together and focusing on what united people instead of what kept them apart. That speech gave hope to many. And it showed the world that Barack Obama was not just another politician. He was a leader who could inspire real change. That speech became a major turning point in his life. It made him known all over the country and helped people believe that he had the power to lead. His message of hope, unity, and change connected with people from every walk of life. It made them believe that the future could truly be different. In 2004, Barack Obama won the election for the U.S. Senate. This meant he would now serve in Washington, D.C., where he could make a bigger difference. In the Senate, he worked on important issues such as healthcare, ethics, and ending the war in Iraq. Barack didn't just focus on passing laws. He wanted to inspire new leaders to fight for fairness and justice. One of his biggest efforts was healthcare reform. Barack strongly believed that every person deserved the right to see a doctor and get treatment, no matter how much money they had. This idea was not popular with everyone, but Barack fought hard for it. He said healthcare was not a privilege, but a basic human right. After many debates and long struggles, his efforts helped create a new law that gave millions of Americans access to health insurance. Even with big national issues on his plate, Barack did not forget smaller but important problems. He supported laws to improve schools, protect nature, and make the justice system fairer. He was respected for his ability to work with people on both sides of politics. Barack wanted to show that solving problems was more important than fighting over party lines. As time passed, more and more people began to believe that Barack Obama could run for president. But this was not an easy decision for him. He knew the journey would be full of criticism, pressure, and attacks. Still, he felt it was the best way to make lasting change in America. In 2007, Barack announced that he was running for president. He faced strong challenges, especially from Hillary Clinton, who was already very well known and had a lot of support. Many people doubted him. They said he was too young, too inexperienced, and some even thought America would never choose a black man as president. But Barack had something different. Belief. He truly believed America could change. His campaign was not built only on politics, but on giving people hope. He wanted Americans to feel that they were part of something bigger. He traveled around the country, speaking with thousands of people from every race, age, and background. He listened to their problems, their dreams, and their fears. His speeches filled people with hope and excitement. Slowly, his message began to spread. People were tired of old politics, and they wanted someone fresh who could bring real change. Barack Obama became that leader. On November 4, 2008, history was made. Barack Obama won the presidential election and became the first black president of the United States. It was not only his victory, it was a victory for everyone who believed in equality and change. That night, standing in Grant Park, Chicago, he gave a powerful speech that touched millions of hearts. He thanked the people, promised to work for them, and reminded them that the road ahead would be difficult. But he also said that together, Americans could face any challenge. His win was not just about politics, it was about hope. It showed the world that with hard work and belief, even the impossible could be achieved. It gave millions of people strength to believe in their own dreams. When Barack Obama took office in January 2009, America was going through one of its darkest times. The country was in a deep economic crisis. Millions had lost jobs, banks were failing, and 2 wars were still going on. The expectations on him were huge, and the challenges were even bigger. But Barack was determined. He quickly acted to fix the economy by creating the Recovery Act, which helped save jobs and supported businesses. He worked to rebuild the financial system and pushed for reforms in education, healthcare, and clean energy. His goal was not just to fix short-term problems, but to build a strong foundation for America's future. Many people opposed his policies. Some said he was spending too much money, while others thought his ideas were too ambitious. But Barack stayed calm and focused. He always reminded people that his mission was to help ordinary families, no matter the criticism. One of his greatest achievements was passing the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. This law gave millions of Americans the chance to get health insurance. It faced huge opposition, but Barack stood firm. He said healthcare was a right, not a privilege. This law changed the lives of many families, even though debates about it continued for years. Outside the U.S., Barack faced major global challenges. He worked on ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, though it was a difficult and long process. He also dealt with nuclear threats from Iran and North Korea, choosing to focus on peace and negotiation rather than war. One result of this was the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, which reduced Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for lifting sanctions. In 2011, he made one of the toughest decisions of his presidency, approving the mission that killed Osama bin Laden, the man behind the 9/11 attacks. Many Americans celebrated this as justice, though others questioned the action. This showed how leadership often means making very difficult choices. In his second term, Barack continued to push for progress, even though the country was more divided than before. In 2013, he faced a government shutdown because Republicans in Congress tried to block his health care law. The shutdown caused stress for millions of Americans, but Barack stood firm and refused to give up. Eventually, the government reopened, showing his determination. Another major moment was in 2015 when he helped bring world leaders together for the Paris Climate Agreement. This global deal aimed to fight climate change and protect the planet. Some people feared it would hurt the economy, but Barack believed it was the right step for future generations. At home, though, challenges continued. The rise of Donald Trump in 2016 showed how divided the country had become. Trump promised to undo many of Barack's policies, and the election proved just how different Americans' views were about the nation's future. Barack knew the next president would face a tough job. During his presidency, Barack Obama gave many strong speeches filled with hope, but sometimes his words also brought controversy. One of the most talked about moments was in 2008, when Barack said some Americans were bitter and cling to guns or religion. He wanted to show the struggles of people in hard economic times, but many thought it was an insult to religious and hard-working Americans. Barack quickly apologized, yet the moment stayed in the story of his presidency. Another event that created debate was his views on race in America. Barack often spoke about racism and inequality. His words were usually inspiring, but they also divided opinions. In 2009, when African-American professor Henry Louis Gates was arrested in his own house by a white policeman, Barack said the police acted stupidly. This comment led to a big national debate about race and police, showing the serious racial tensions in the country. Barack's speeches on race were meant to bring people together, but not everyone agreed with him. Some thought he spoke too much about race, while others felt he did not do enough to fight racism. Still, Barack kept speaking up because he believed his words could help bring change. His presidency had many struggles, but also many victories. He worked on healthcare reform, action against climate change, and improving the economy. He also became the first African-American president, showing the world that no matter your background, anything is possible. In January 2017, Barack left the White House, but his impact remained. Many of his policies still affect people today, and his legacy inspires millions around the world. He taught that leadership is not about being perfect. It is about standing for what is right, even when the path is hard. He showed that with hard work, faith, and hope in people's goodness, great change is possible. His story is more than political success. It is a lesson of hope, strength, and believing in a brighter future. He proved that no matter the obstacles, people can rise above them with determination and fairness. His life is proof that real leadership is about serving others and protecting what is right. After leaving office in 2017, people wondered what Barack would do next. The world had watched him lead for 8 years, and he had left a lasting mark. People respected his calmness in crisis and his fight for equality. But his journey was not finished. Even after leaving the most powerful position, his influence stayed strong. His later years showed his continued passion for service and progress. One of his biggest projects after the White House was the Obama Foundation. Its goal is to inspire and train the next generation of leaders. Barack's vision was to build a place where young people worldwide could share ideas, learn, and solve community problems. The foundation focuses on leadership, global connections, and community support. Barack believes young people can solve the world's toughest issues. He often says the future belongs to them, and they have the power to create change. Through programs like the Obama Scholars, young leaders get tools and chances to make a difference, locally and globally. Barack has often said his dream is not only to leave behind policies, but also to leave behind empowered people. He wants the next generation to lead with kindness, wisdom, and fairness. Through his foundation, he is planting seeds for a future that will grow long after him. Since leaving the presidency, Barack has spoken worldwide on important issues. His talks focus on unity, hope, and the idea that we are all connected. He speaks about climate change, protecting democracy, and the need for caring leaders during hard times. In 2018, at the Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture in South Africa, Barack gave a powerful speech. He warned against division and fear, saying these can destroy what makes a country strong: unity, tolerance, and progress. He also spoke about the importance of democracy. He urged young people to get involved in their communities. He reminded them that democracy is not just voting, but also standing up for what is fair and just. Barack's words continue to inspire people fighting for justice, equality, and human rights. He uses his voice to highlight the struggles of those who need it most: the poor, the forgotten, and the oppressed. Barack also spent time writing his memoir, A Promised Land, published in 2020. The book quickly became a bestseller. It shares his time in office, his challenges, and his values. It is not just politics. It is a personal story about leadership, service, and tough choices. In the book, Barack shares his fears and doubts, but also his joys. He writes about the heavy responsibilities of the presidency and the moments of success that gave him strength. He speaks about his family, especially his wife Michelle Obama, who was his support and guide. Michelle also became a leader herself, working for girls' education and health. Barack often says Michelle reminded him of what truly matters: family, love, and helping others. The book also tells about the difficulties of being the first African American president. He explains how he was sometimes criticized for not doing enough for his community and how he faced resistance from both sides. He is honest about the challenges, but also proud of the progress made. Faith has always guided Barack. His Christian beliefs shaped his ideas of justice and service. For him, faith means living with honesty and doing the right thing, even when it is hard. One of his most moving moments as president came after the church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina, in 2015. During the funeral, Barack sang Amazing Grace. His voice was shaky, and his emotions showed, but it touched millions. It was a moment of deep compassion, healing, and hope. Faith still guides Barack today as he speaks about equality and justice. He reminds people that real change takes time and effort, but it is possible if we believe in humanity. Of course, Barack has also faced criticism. Some say he did not achieve enough in healthcare or reducing inequality. Others wanted faster change. But Barack accepts that he did his best in tough situations. He admits mistakes, but teaches that leadership is about moving forward, learning, and never giving up. As we reflect on Barack Obama's journey, we see not just political wins, but life lessons. His story is about strength, hope, and the power of believing in change. Barack's path was never easy. He faced racism, doubts, and obstacles. But he always believed that with hard work and courage, anything is possible. His life shows that anyone can shape their own future. One of his strongest messages is, don't wait for the world to change. Be the change. Problems can feel too big, but Barack showed that even small steps matter. Every little action, adds up to something great. His story also teaches that leadership is not about control, but about lifting others up. True leaders inspire people to believe in themselves and build a better future together. Each of us can be a leader in our families, communities, or workplaces. So, what does his legacy mean for you? It means you are stronger than you think. You can make change, face challenges, and follow your dreams. His life is proof that even in dark times, there is always light. Barack never let others define him. He kept moving forward, even when it was difficult. Because of this, he achieved things many thought impossible. Now it is your turn. The world needs your voice, your ideas, and your courage. No dream is too big, and no challenge is too hard. Your journey is just starting, and it is full of hope. Remember, every day is a chance to make a difference. When life feels hard, think of Barack Obama, his hope, his belief in change, and his trust in people. Most importantly, believe in yourself. Your future is in your hands. Like Barack Obama, you too can leave a legacy that inspires generations. So stand tall, take your first step, and never stop believing. The world is waiting for you.